right, thank you, Nate, and good afternoon, everybody. We are 4:03 on Tuesday, September 9th, and we will call to order tonight's council meeting for land acknowledgement. As we gather today, I'd like to acknowledge on behalf of council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We'd like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history, and we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Would there be any declarations of pecuniary interest? None being seen. Confirmation of council agenda.
That council adopt the agenda for the September 9th, 2025 regular council meeting.
Moved by Councillor Campbell, thank you. Seconded by Councillor Humphreys. All in favor? Thank you. And we will keep going to minutes from previous meetings, and we have a number of them. I would like to ask for a motion for all three of them together. They're on page 3, page 7, and page 8 of our package. Do I have a mover? Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor Webster, and I will get used to rolling that off my tongue. And seconded by Councillor Humphreys. Thank you, and all in favor? Thank you. All right. We will move on to section 6, and I believe I will pass it over to our CAO.
Thank you. So we have two oaths of office that we need to go through. So the first one I will move for Mayor Dana Proctor, if you wish to read it out, and we will sign both once you're done.
All right, it would be a pleasure to read this out, and I thank you. I, Dana Proctor, having been appointed to the office of Mayor in the municipality of Horton, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
Copy right here.
Happy to. Thank you. Great. Thank you.
And Deputy Mayor Webster, it's your turn.
Thank you. I, Tom Webster, having been appointed to the office of Deputy Mayor in the municipality of Horton, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this solemn promise and declaration consciously believing it to be true and knowing that is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
You could sign right there for me, please. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So a new item onto our agenda will be, and it will learn to get off my tongue as well, Mayor Proctor's address. So I appreciate the opportunity to say a few words. And I have written them down because I knew I'd be a little nervous today and did want to make sure that I covered all of the areas of sentiment that I have. So good afternoon to everybody, and having just taken the oath of office, I do want to express just how humbled and deeply respectful I am in the trust placed in me to serve as mayor of Horton Township. This is both an honor and a responsibility, and I am just super energized by the possibilities ahead for our township, within the larger county community, and with each of you. I want to begin with expressing my sincere appreciation to my fellow councillors, thank you, and our township staff. Over the nearly 3 years of this term of council, your commitment and your teamwork have brought noticeable and impactful improvements to our community. The progress we have made is real, and the impact and the dedication that each of you have served and expressed really shows the deep commitment that you've got to our community. Looking to the future, I'm going to say that what I said nearly 3 years ago, I'm going to say again, that I am committed to working transparently and tenaciously to advance all of our interests. That means expanding access to services and programs for our residents while actively pursuing federal and provincial grant opportunities to support our growth. It also means strengthening our partnerships with neighboring municipalities, with other levels of government, with residents, with corporations, with each other, so that Horton's voice is heard across Renfrew County and beyond. We have incredible opportunities before us, from elevating our role in the community center, elevating the role of our community center as a hub for our programs and our activities, to also building new connections that bring value to households while balancing the affordability and the sustainability that each of us are struggling with. Every decision we make will weigh both the immediate impact on our families and the long-term benefit of Horton. Together as a council and staff and as residents, I am thrilled to be part of this remarkable journey together with you, continuing to shape our future and contributing to the vitality of the county and our township. Thank you, and let's go. With that, thank you for the opportunity to share those words. We'll move back to regular scheduled programming and move to committee reports, Chair Webster, Deputy Mayor Webster, if I can move over to you, please, for general government.
Thank you, Mayor Proctor. Congratulations again, and very well said. 8.1.1 of our staff report, signing authority, page 12. I'll pass this over to our treasurer, Natalie Moore, please.
Thank you. So these recommendations explain what the changes are moving forward. But essentially, it's to change the dual signing authority on our TD accounts for any financial transactions. We do require 2 signatures, and so that just changes the alternates. And the other one is for the signing authority for non-financial agreements, et cetera, that sort of thing. And at this time, there's no need to update the bylaw because the borrowing bylaw, because it states positions, not names. But with TD, we do specifically have to change the names. So not sure if anybody has any questions.
Is there any comments, questions in regards to that report? No? Seeing none? We'll keep moving. 8.1.2, staff treasurer report. Tally, if you can keep rolling with that, please.
Okay. Again, the summer's been kind of quiet for traffic into the office, but we've been pretty busy doing the behind-the-scenes stuff, working on budget. I know we've had some preliminary talks already because the department heads have received their working papers. Some are already complete. So no, we're having good conversations. So we haven't formally met with any committees yet. That will start to happen, I believe, recreation this week, and we will meet with TESS and protective services. Again, I know I keep mentioning the tax sale properties, but we have collected a significant amount of what was outstanding of the people in tax sale. And there were 15 properties, and we're now down to 3 properties in that position, which is great. Some have made arrangements, so they're still in that position, but not to that point. And budget-wise, we're still looking pretty good. There's still just under half remaining, I would gauge. So I think we're sitting in a good position. So I'm not sure if anybody has comments or questions about that.
Yes. Any comments, questions from council? No?
Good job.
No? Very good. Okay, great. Yes, I was looking at the percent remaining. Those are the column I look at, and everything looks really good. So good job, staff. Next thing, 8.1.3, staff report communications policy, page 16 of our package, and I will send this over to the author, CAO Dillabo. Please.
Thank you. So with the Township of Horton, we do not have a communications policy at present, so staff felt it prudent to create one, just to kind of create a consistency that should occur in messaging and tone, whether it's between internal or external stakeholders. That involves council staff, ratepayers, contractors, etc. The proposed policy does provide a framework that promotes, as I said, consistency, professionalism, and transparency, while safeguarding the township's reputation and insurance compliance with legislative obligations. Some information within that policy is our internal communications, council communications, and external, the who, what, why, when, where of how we communicate, and as well as it supports our commitment to good governance and accountability. As I said, transparency and accessibility in decision-making, and strengthen relationships with residents, businesses, and community partners. There is a piece to it as well as how council communicates with me, the CAO, and as well as staff, how staff internally communicate, and as well as the mayor and the CAO, and that county council communication that should come to the council table as well. So it's kind of an all-encompassing policy, just how the municipality communicates in whole.
Very good. Any comments, questions in regards to this policy coming forward? No? No? Yep.
I think it's a
Councillor
great idea. Yeah, I've been reading it over, and it makes a lot of sense that we start to get some uniformity in the communications, because sometimes when you send an email or a text and you don't include other people, so it sort of leaves you out in the woods, not knowing what's exactly going on at that time. So the more we communicate, it's so important. So I think it's a great step for Horton. So thank you.
Very good, thank you. Any other comments, questions in regards to that policy? Yes, Mayor Proctor.
Thank you. I completely agree. And I think in reading it, there's a lot of common sense, but with anything, it's great to see it written down. So it just levels the playing field. And I think as we continuously move into a digital era and that digital communication, it just helps all of us maintain that consistent and level set that expectation. My only encouragement for maybe a next draft would be in there some guidelines around timeliness. Timeliness of response to ensure that we're responsive to residents, we're responsive to each other, and therefore then we have an expectation level set around that as well. So if that could be an area of improvement or further discussion for improvement in the next draft, that would be my ask.
Very good. Good point. Any other comments? Yes, Councillor Campbell, please.
I guess it really takes the challenge out of, the hearsay and the, if we're ever challenged, whether it be by the community or insurance, everything's paperwork now. I know our councillor training said verbal conversation isn't worth the paper it's written on, but once it's in writing, that makes a difference. And so it holds us accountable for, the again, the timeliness, the subject matter, and making sure that our points are, the points that are being brought forward are acknowledged, decided on, and then voted. So, thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Councillor Campbell. Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, I think that is done. I'm done with general government. I'll pass it back to you, Mayor Proctor.
I didn't know that we were calling my name. I will get used to that. That is my name. Thank you. So moving on to 8.2, protective services. And with that, I will pass it over to our CAO. Delabois, please.
Thank you. So just a quick reason of why I'm presenting this report is that due to the recent appointments, the past chair is now the mayor. Therefore, in our procedural bylaw, the mayor cannot be chair. They're ex officio on each committee. So technically, we do not have a protective services committee established at the moment, with one member being Councillor Campbell. So I will review the report, but that is a conversation that will have to be had by council in the near future. So there was a meeting back in July, and Fire Chief Cole presented his report and the calls for service from mid to May to early July. There had been discussion in regards to the private roads and the dimensions of the trucks that are required to, how much room, they're required to have to be on the private roads in general for emergency response. As well, though, there was conversation regarding the tankers and the fact that they do need a new tanker at some point, so there was direction via a resolution to direct the fire chief and the deputy fire chief to bring back comparative information between new and used to get ready for the 2026 budget season. And there had been discussion about open air burning in regards to some questions that had been received by Mayor Proctor at that time. And the MLES, which are the bylaw reports, were also reviewed. And there was a request that bylaw enforcement be invited to the next committee meeting. However, due to there not being a committee meeting, we are still going to go ahead and have them come in to sit down with staff and the mayor at this point. And any other information I can provide council, I will when I have it.
Thank you very much. Any questions or discussion? No? I know we've got some movement still yet as a council to talk about who will take on chairing protective services going forward. The urgency, I guess, that I would add to this is the challenge around our tanker. The forecastability for that has been partially brought into our asset management plan. And you've done a fantastic job of doing that. Thank you so much for doing that, Adam. But I think it is a conversation that if we can add to our priority list and an area of focus, combined with our fire chief and deputy fire chief in that conversation and getting the information from them, that would be fantastic. All right. Moving on to community committees and county council. Councillor Humphreys, I'll pass over to you, please.
Thank you, Mayor Proctor. Renfrew Area Senior Home Support, no physical meeting for August, but programs are going on, working around staff holidays, and really nice. We're going to have some programs coming up to Horton with Rachel working with Dennis Harrington and staff from Renfrew from the Senior Home Support. So that's a plus news for Horton. We get some programming for seniors and stuff in their own community center. So I might as well just move right on to Renfrew Area Chamber of Commerce. The push is on for more members. This after hours meet and greet, networking and promoting members to member discounts. It was very important. We've had Castle Building Supplies did one, Crush Farming, Flower Factory, Lapine Apartments, Ben Oaks from Sun Life, and down the list here says Horton Community Center in late September, early October. So mark that on your, we'll know after the rec meeting on Thursday this week. So that's something to look forward to. That we're going to get a little bit more of the community center, both with senior programming and with the Chamber of Commerce. So thank you, Mayor Proctor.
Thank you, Councillor Humphreys. Questions, concerns, discussion?
Well, thank you. I'm glad you're promoting Horton, and glad to hear the Senior Home Support is heading down to our community center for.
Yeah, they're very pleased. They've because other townships have given them financial dollars, and I think we've been donated our hall, and it really showcases, and this is why we want to do both the showcasing for the Chamber of Commerce and the showcasing for the seniors, because and Rachel's done a wonderful job working ahead, doing different programs that are going to be available, like yoga, and there's so many different things coming up for the winter. So it's nice to see the hall being used. So, and have to talk to Adam, but maybe some different lighting on the stage. So that'll be after a rec meeting, Adam, so you're okay. Thank you.
That's it. Wonderful. Thank you. Why don't we move on to Councillor Campbell then, please, for South Ottawa Valley Police Board.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Proctor. So the South Ottawa Valley OPE detachment met on Friday, August 29th at 2 p.m. It was our agenda was light, but the some of the context was heavy. We were on a deadline to meet the Reduced Impaired Drivers Everywhere Ride program grant from 2025 to 2029. So it was kind of a decision with a grin, because it's a grant money for our ride program. So there was some basic discussions, and of course, we had to have our paperwork filled out and in at 4 o'clock that evening. So that was the rush for that. So basically what it is, it's a $16,000 grant for the 4-year program for RIDE. So we look forward to that grant to keep up the RIDE program, to keep the drivers accountable for drinking driving, and so we look forward to receiving that. We had the privilege to be introduced to the superintendent, Derek Needham, and Chief Superintendent Lisa Willem, and they gave an overview and a background of where they started to where they are today, and just good to hear, how they were pushed or from college, university, and went into the fields that they did, and where they are now. So it was we're very honored to meet the two of those. As the committees are formed, we're starting to see more of the those spaces that aren't filled in. We're starting to see, who will be representing us, and we'll finally have a full report and full group that will meet and provide a voice. We had a report and presentation on the selection process for staffing for the position of detachment commander for the Renfrew OPP. So Marianne McNeil has been filling that in right now on a temporary basis, and so candidates have put in their names and has gone through levels of interviews, and with their background, testing, requirements, and then what they bring to the table. And so we were able to sit back and listen to the 3 questions that the superintendent asked, and we're able to sit back and hear that in a verbal response of how and why they feel they're adequate for this position. So Marianne McNeil spoke very well, Sudbury native, moved here, sat back for, she was able to put in for this level of placement, I believe 7 years ago, and just kept putting off because it was Renfrew that she wanted. And it was really expressed that she could have stepped into 1 or 2 different roles, but it just shows her commitment to the Renfrew area. So we're wishing her well, and we'll be waiting for the announcement to see how that turns out. That's pretty much all it was. Again, we're trying to make that deadline for the grant, and then meet with 2 of the upper brass for the committee. So that's my report. Are there any questions or concerns? Hope.
Thank you. I just have a quick question. So upon discussion with some of the CAOs, some of the municipalities have yet to receive the invoice that we budgeted for 2025. Do you have any insight on when that may come before year end, or?
So they're saying our September meeting should come full turn. We were looking to see who was going to be our paymaster and be accountable. So Renfrew has taken that role as being paymaster for our committee, and with the final reports of our statistic planning and our zone meetings, we were getting more informed on that. So September should answer a lot of the questions and put that into perspective. I know there's just lots of little hoops to jump through, and with summer holidays, it didn't seem to line the hoops up quite right. So I believe September, at least I will be bringing back a response, a positive response with a deadline for that. Yeah. Mayor
And
Proctor.
as well, following on to that as well, as we had talked about having the chair of the board come back to talk to us about the interim billing,
Yeah.
to understand if the billing expectation was going to stay as is. Any insight on timing for that?
Again, that was brought up during this meeting, but briefly, it was asked, and I recall who asked it. So again, September seemed to be the answer. Now, whether they'll send out something in September to meet, I believe the dates will be set in September to meet for the fall. Yeah, but certainly yes, it was discussion. It's like a living document. Every meeting we talk about it, so it's not. It's been pushed to the side and shuffled. It again, they're just the. I don't understand the logistics behind it, but there's still a lot of boards that are still being formed right now, and I thought something, significant as a police detachment board would. It was already formed before, so now it's a little different. Some are still trying to get members to have all their training and background and police checks done, and still are struggling with that. So hopefully September is going to answer all their questions. But yes, they are certainly talking about coming out to the municipalities as promised.
Thank you very much.
Councillor Humphreys.
Just one question. I noticed I should have spoke to our treasurer about the $75,000 with the Ministry of Finance for OBP payment processing. So did they just take an overall arbitrary number, without the final budgeting? Like, with the next bill might be 90,000 or it might be 60,000. Is there any idea how that worked out for the rest of this year?
So for our board itself, they took an average of all the costing of each of the 7, and then did an equal billing across, and that's the number we were shown. Now with ours, certainly there'll be a decrease in ours because we're running without an administrator at this time. We have not put that job out for circulation yet. So the amount of money we set aside for there would not have been used. So we'll see that right off the hop. So that should be, without the other boards, it should be the same thing. If they're, I know there's lots of talk, same thing. How are they doing their billing? We had to do something, so that's the way we did. We did an average. And now, so the average should be lower than the original cost in all the 7 municipalities. So you should see that coming forth.
Thank you, Chair Campbell.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the update. We'll move on to section 8.3.4 for County Council. I have had the pleasure of being at one engagement through County Council in the last week since becoming mayor. But I want to draw the attention first to something that it was brought to my attention that a resident, Hunter Prince, was recognized and part of the summer entrepreneurial program for teenagers this summer. So I want to send a congratulations to him for completing the program through the county. His company by name is Moose 3D Products. So it's a 3D printing company. So congratulations to Hunter. I do apologize that we weren't there to celebrate with him. But all the same, the meeting that I did attend last week, it was a strategy day, which thank you, all of you had supported me going. It was hosted in Whitewater, a full day closed session, so I can't really go into specifics on what was discussed, but I can share with you that there was a lot of energy in the room. There was a lot of cohesive talk between staff and all council. So every municipality from the county, with the exception of the odd one, was in attendance. And some of the key themes that I quite liked was a lot of focus on housing, affordable housing, renewable housing, enabling housing, how do we grow housing, everything around housing. The other side of it was senior support. How do we enable seniors staying in our homes? How do we ensure that seniors are getting the access to programs that they need and staying healthy, vibrant members of our community? The last one that and from working with me, you know this, is really about the affordability. How do we ensure that we have the affordability within our communities to want to build our families in this community and stay in the county? So here's a trailer for you. There's going to be more coming, more information coming on all of those and what those exactly mean. But a really good full day. CAO Craig Kelly kept us very much on schedule for the whole day. It was a great session. And they kept us plied with candy in the middle of the table, so it kept us engaged for it all. So more coming on that. And I look forward to more updates with everybody. Any questions from anybody, though, on everything that we had talked about at county or been engaged with? No? There is one item that I forgot. I did have 3 updates, I'm sorry. The third one is around Castleford. Many will notice that it is in state of disrepair at the moment, in a state of being ripped apart. They are doing a complete, I hope I'm using the right words, resurfacing to it, as well as working on the ditches to ensure that the right,
Reprofiling to ensure that the drainage has positive flow and it's a mill and pave.
Thank you. That's a lot more words than I would have been able to say. They're widening it and making sure there's enough space for everything and water to flow the way it's supposed to be. So appreciate everybody's patience on that. They expect probably early to mid-October to be done. So I'm just so thankful that they're working on it. I did ask if we could get the rest of Castleford done this year. I got nice smiles, but nothing more than that. All right. Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Adam. No. We'll move on to section 9, information correspondence in our packages. Any comments, questions, discussion regarding the information emailed? I will make a remark. I was keen to look at an Ontario Housing Summit. Digging into that summit, 1, it's on the east end of Ottawa, so a little difficult to get to, but 2, focused primarily on urban centers, it seemed. It did not look to be very rural focused when I asked more about it, so I don't know that there'd be benefit to us. And I did say it kind of caught my breath, Nikki, that you've got it calendars out to December, but thank you for not saying that it's 107 days until Christmas for today. Right. With no action correspondence, we'll move on to, I apologize, I'm skipping to any other conversation for information mailed. Yes, Adam.
Back quickly to the Protective Services Committee comments. As far as the clearances on the roads, I'm assuming they're referring to private roads, and this is clearly defined within the private roads grant, so in effort to keep a clear, concise communication, I would refer to that grant, which was drafted in cooperation with the fire chief, so those dimensions are all clearly defined within that grant.
A really good point, Adam, thank you. Referencing that was to go out with some of our information package, so I'm sure, okay. Bylaws. With that, I will hand it back over to our CAO. Dillabor, please.
Thank you. So bylaw 2025-35, this is just to amend the Integrity Commissioner agreement that we currently have on file to appoint Tony Fleming as our Integrity Commissioner and closed meeting investigator. This is just to extend his appointment by another 2 years.
Any discussion? Comments? No? Thank you. Moving on to section 11, we will have notice to file motion for next council meeting. Okay, section 12, council or any staff member concerns? Yes, Councillor Campbell.
Just one. Just want to ask through the mayor and staff if we could acknowledge a moment of silence for the passing of 2 of our volunteers. Sorry, I thought I'd hit that. So if I could ask through the mayor and our and through staff to acknowledge a moment of silence for the passing of 2 of our one of our public members, Spencer Hopping, and one of our volunteers, Ralph Miller. Thank you, Mayor Proctor.
Thank you. Very well said. Any other staff member concerns? Yes.
Thank you. I just wanted to notify council that I have invited Peter Emo, who's part of the Renfrew Area Health Services Village, to come as a delegation on the September 23rd meeting at 4 o'clock to just kind of go over an update, a status update on the board, where we sit with the outstanding funds. And from that, I believe there is a board meeting happening October 15th, tentatively scheduled, so there will be more information coming shortly.
Thank you for that. If there are any other comments, concerns? Nope, none being heard. I do want to echo your comments, but also raise that there are applications open. So certainly seeking applications to join our our council, and join our complement, as well as our public advisory members for a general government role and protective services. I was about to say recreation, but no, protective services as well. So both of those committees, we'd like applications for, as well as to join us on council. If anyone has any questions or want to know more about it, please reach out. We look forward to having more join. With that, why don't we move on to section 13 under resolutions, and I'll pass that over to CAO Dillabo, please.
That council approves the terms and conditions set out in the TD Canada Trust corporate resolution and appoints the following bank signing officers for the corporation of the Township of Horton. One signature of either Mayor Dana Proctor or Deputy Mayor Tom Webster, and one signature of either Treasurer Natalie Moore or CAO Clerk Hope Dillabo.
Do I have a mover for said resolution? Thank you. Councillor Webster, seconded by Councillor Humphreys. All in favor?
That Mayor Dana Proctor and CAO Clerk Hope Dillabo be appointed as legal signing officers, and the alternates in case of absence shall be Deputy Mayor Tom Webster for the mayor and Treasurer Natalie Moore for the CAO Clerk.
Without renaming you, would I have a mover for that motion? Deputy Mayor Webster, and seconded by Councillor Humphreys. I haven't misnamed you this evening, so that's good. All right. All in favor? Thank you.
That council receive the following reports as information: Treasurer's Report and Protective Services Chair's Report, July 17th, 2025.
Do I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Campbell, seconded by Deputy Mayor Webster. All in favor? Thank you.
That council accept corporate policy J18 communications policy as presented by staff, which establishes clear guidelines for staff, members of council, and external stakeholders to ensure effective, transparent, and professional communication within the municipality. And further, that it be brought forward by bylaw with the addition of timeliness of response to be reviewed and adopted into the Township of Horton's corporate policies.
Do I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Humphreys, seconded by Deputy Mayor Webster. All in favor? Thank you.
That upon recommendation from the Protective Services Committee in July, council give direction to the fire chief to bring forward a comparison report for a new and used tanker, including price, timeline for delivery, and availability at the next Protective Services Committee meeting. But I apologize, I'll amend that and say council meeting.
Thank
For
you.
now.
So you moved by Deputy Mayor Webster, seconded by Councillor Campbell. All in favor?
That council receive the community committees and county council updates as information.
Moved by Councillor Humphreys, seconded by Councillor Campbell. Thank you. All in favor?
That council received the information memo for September 9th, 2025.
Moved by Councillor Campbell, seconded by Deputy Mayor Webster. All in favor? Thank you.
That council enact the following bylaw, 2025-35, amend Integrity Commissioner Agreement.
Moved by Councillor Humphreys, seconded by Deputy Mayor Webster. All in favor?
That council went into a closed session at 4:43 p.m. to discuss the following items pursuant to Section 239(2)E of the Municipal Act, litigation or potential litigation, Collins Road.
Moved by Councillor Campbell, seconded by Deputy Mayor Webster. All in favor? Thank you.
Session at 5:23 PM and discussed items pursuant to Section 239(2)E of the Municipal Act, litigation or potential litigation, Collins Road.
And do I have a mover? Thank you. Deputy Mayor Webster, seconded by Councillor Humphreys. All in favor? Thank you.
That council enact bylaw 2025-36 confirming bylaw.
Moved by Councillor Campbell, seconded by Councillor Humphreys. All in favor? Thank you, gentlemen. And with that, we are adjourned at 5:24. Thanks all.